She gave them everything. They threw her out like trash. But what they didn't know would change everything. This is the story of Margaret Walsh and the secret that turned the tables. Margaret Walsh had spent 43 years in that brick house on Maple Street in Ohio. 43 years of memories, laughter, and love with her husband Robert, who passed 5 years ago from a heart attack. At 72, Margaret's arthritis made every step painful. Her hands trembled when she tried to open jars. But she never complained. Her daughter Jennifer moved in 2 years ago with her husband Brad. Jennifer had lost her marketing job. Brad's construction business had failed. They had nowhere else to go. Margaret welcomed them with open arms. Family takes care of family, she always said. But something changed. Jennifer, once warm and caring, became cold. She snapped at her mother for small things. Brad spent his days on the couch, scrolling through his phone, avoiding eye contact. Margaret tried to help with groceries with bills, but her pension could only stretch so far. One Tuesday morning, Margaret woke to shouting downstairs, "I know, Brad. I know your mom. She's a burden. This house could be ours. Could sell it. Start fresh somewhere cheaper." Margaret's heart stopped. She pressed her ear against the door. "She won't leave willingly," Jennifer said. Her voice was flat, emotionless. "Then we make her leave." The next afternoon, while Margaret napped, they acted. When she came downstairs, garbage bags filled the hallway. Her clothes, her photo albums. Robert's war medals. "What?" Margaret's voice cracked. Jennifer wouldn't look at her. "Mom, you need to find somewhere else to live. Can't afford to support you anymore. This is my house. Robert and I bought it in 1981. It's in my name now, Mom. Remember? You signed it over last year when you were sick. You said it was easier for estate planning." Margaret's mind raced. She'd been so ill with pneumonia. Jennifer had brought papers to the hospital. "Just a formality," she'd said, "to protect the house if anything happens." She'd trusted her own daughter. "Please," Margaret whispered. "I have nowhere to go." Brad finally spoke, not meeting her eyes. "There's a senior center downtown. They have resources." By sunset, Margaret sat on the curb, watching strangers' cars pass by. Everything she owned fit in 3 garbage bags. She had $17 in her purse. But they didn't know about the storage unit. 20 years ago, Robert had been careful. "Never put all your eggs in one basket, Maggie," he'd say. He'd opened a storage unit across town, paid 10 years in advance, then set up auto payments from a separate account. Inside, he'd hidden something precious. Not just money, though, there was some, but stocks, bonds, silver coins he'd collected. The deed to a small piece of land his grandfather left him in rural Pennsylvania, 40 acres of forest that nobody knew about. "If anything ever happens to me," Robert had told her, "you remember Unit 247? The keys in my toolbox, taped inside the handle of that old hammer?" Margaret had forgotten, till now. She took a bus to Jennifer's house the next morning while they were out. The toolbox sat in the garage, dusty and ignored. The key was exactly where Robert said it would be. At the storage facility, Margaret's hands shook as she unlocked Unit 247. Inside, she found a fireproof safe. The combination was their wedding anniversary. Inside, $43,000 in cash, stock certificates worth at least $200,000, the land deed, and a letter in Robert's handwriting. "Maggie, if you're reading this, I'm gone and you need this. I always worried about Jennifer. She was never quite right with money. This is yours. Build something beautiful. You deserve it. I love you forever." Margaret cried for an hour in that storage unit. Then she made a plan. Margaret didn't go far. She found a lawyer and sold the Pennsylvania land to a timber company for $180,000. With her savings and the stocks, she had nearly $500,000. She bought a beautiful small house 2 towns over in Greenfield. 3 bedrooms, a garden, a porch with a swing. She paid cash. She volunteered at the local library. She took a watercolor class. She made friends, real friends, who invited her to book clubs and Sunday dinners, and she hired help. A young man named Marcus, 23, who'd aged out of foster care and was working 3 jobs to pay for community college. He helped with yard work, heavy lifting, grocery runs. Margaret saw something in Marcus. Kindness, determination, the same spark Robert had. She paid him well, helped him with tuition, and treated him like the grandson she never had. Meanwhile, Jennifer and Brad's life crumbled. Without Margaret's pension contributions, they couldn't afford the house. Brad's drinking got worse. Jennifer's bitterness grew. They fought constantly. They tried to sell Margaret's old house, but the foundation had cracks they'd ignored. The roof leaked. Buyers walked away. The bank foreclosed after 6 months. Jennifer tracked her mother down through a former neighbor. She showed up at Margaret's new house on a Saturday morning. Margaret was in the garden with Marcus, planting tomatoes and laughing at something he'd said. "Mom," Margaret looked up, dirt on her hands, genuine surprise on her face. "Jennifer, what? How did you?" It's Jennifer's eyes, scanned the beautiful house, the new car in the driveway, the well-kept garden. "Your father provided well for me, but you had nothing. You were always broke." "No, Jennifer. I was careful. I prioritized family. There's a difference." Brad appeared from behind Jennifer, looking rough, unshaven. "Mrs. Walsh, we need help. We lost the house. We're staying in a motel, the house you stole from me." Silence. "I trusted you," Margaret said quietly. "I gave you everything, and you threw me away like garbage. You forged my signature on those papers. Yes, I checked with a lawyer. Could have pressed charges." Jennifer's face went pale. "Mom, but I didn't. You're my daughter, and somewhere inside I still love you. But I will not be your safety net anymore. You made your choices. So you're just going to let us suffer?" Jennifer's voice rose, angry now, defensive. Marcus stepped closer to Margaret, protective. "Who's this?" Brad asked, suspicious. "This is Marcus. He's been more family to me in 6 months than you were in 2 years. You're giving your money to a stranger?" Jennifer shouted. "I'm investing in someone who deserves it, someone kind, someone who doesn't see me as a burden." Margaret reached into her pocket and pulled out an envelope. Inside was $500 in cash. "This is a one-time gift, not a loan, not the beginning of anything. Use it wisely or waste it. That's your choice. But after today, don't come back. I'm changing my locks. I'm updating my will. Everything I have will go to Marcus and to charities that help seniors who've been abandoned by their families." Jennifer took the envelope, tears running down her face. They weren't tears of remorse. They were tears of rage and self-pity. "You're a bitter old woman," Jennifer spat. "No," Margaret said. "I'm a woman who finally knows her worth." Margaret watched them drive away. She felt lighter than she had in years. Marcus touched her shoulder gently. "You okay, Miss Margaret?" "I am, sweetheart. Really am." 6 years later, Margaret passed away peacefully in her sleep at 78. She'd traveled, made art, volunteered, and lived fully. Marcus inherited the house and $300,000. He finished his degree, became a social worker, and bought the house next door to turn into a safe space for foster kids aging out of the system. He named it Walsh House in her honor. Jennifer and Brad, they moved to Florida, worked dead-end jobs, and divorced after 3 years. Jennifer sent a letter once, years too late, apologizing. Marcus forwarded it to Margaret's lawyer, who kept it in a file. Margaret never saw it. Some said that was sad. Others said it was fitting. Because here's what Margaret understood in the end. Your worth isn't determined by how others treat you. It's determined by how you treat yourself. When people show you who they are, believe them. And when you find those rare souls who see your value, who offer kindness without agenda, hold on to them tight. Greed destroys. Kindness builds. And sometimes the family you choose is better than the family you're born into. Choose yourself. Choose dignity. Choose to rise. If this story touched you, remember someone in your life who could use a reminder of their worth. Share this video with them. And if you've ever felt thrown away, know this. Your comeback can be greater than your setback. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are not alone.